All right. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Karen Maxwell and Gabi Lockhart coming to you live for Plano Idea Exchange. It's not just about Plano, that's just the name of the group. My group, Real Impact Plano. But it is an opportunity for us to come together and network and discuss issues, solve problems. Gabi and I do this every morning. Not all issues get solved every day, but often during our phone conversations, we'll say, "Oh my gosh, that's what I need to do. I'll call you back," and then we jump
Mhm.
off and off the call, and then take care of whatever problem that that could be solved from our conversations.
Mhm.
So we started this. Oh, let me add Lydia. Sorry, Lydia.
Oh, there
My
she is. Hey.
screen wasn't there, so I need to turn the volume up.
Howdy.
Anyway, so this is just our way of giving back and helping each other. And so we have, I'm Karen Maxwell. My group is Real Impact Plano. They're real estate investing groups. And I'm located in Princeton, Texas. And Gabi Lockhart is with us from Real Impact Denton and Wichita Falls. So they have two groups, real estate investing groups, and we meet once a month in person, but we also come to you once a month on this live podcast. And you can feel free to watch any of them. They're all recorded. They're in the live feeds from on my YouTube channel. So, Miss Lydia, how are you today? Oh, you're muted.
Doing well, doing well. Getting over COVID. Darn it, I got it.
Oh my! I didn't.
Vaccinated and all, and I got it. But
How many times have you had it?
twice. I had it about a year and a half ago, and then this
I
time.
got it last August
Hmm.
and the August before that. So August of 21 and 22, I'm not vaccinated.
Hmm.
My kids are not vaccinated. One of my son has never had it, even though he was in the house with us when three of us in the same house had it at the same time in 2021. So, but my daughter's had it. You've had it twice,
Hmm.
just once. Okay, she's had it once, and so yeah, I will say after the last round of COVID that I had in 2022, when I didn't even realize I had it. I took it because other people had it that I had been around the week before, and we were getting ready to go to Cancun, and I didn't want to get anyone sick. And I took the test, and it was positive. So I took another one, thinking maybe it was a false positive, and it was positive. So I went and got a different type of test, and it was positive. And I say, oh my God, if I could feel the way I felt that week that I had COVID that last time, I would be like, bring it on. Because it was like I was energized, I was thinking, I mean, you couldn't stop me.
Wow.
I honestly did not believe that I had it, but I did. So everything worked out fine. Anyway, so today is going to be a little different because I'm actually in a boot camp call with Coach Michael Bird. He's going to be our keynote speaker at the Mastermind Getaway this year. We are, let me throw that link up there. Where's Mastermind Getaway? You can go to mastermindgetaway.com and sign up if you want to go with us. We have about 54 ish real estate investors going to Cancun for 5 days. And Miss Gabi and her husband Tim are our uh, VIP guests because they won the trip from their success from this last year. So they want a free trip and they get all the cool stuff that the VIPs get. And so anyway, we're super excited about it. And Coach is going to be our keynote speaker. And I'm so excited to have everyone that attends get to know him and hear what he has to say. So I wanted to jump on here real quick so that I can get back to my boot camp so I'm not missing too much of it. But oh my gosh, just yesterday in a 30-minute phone call with his, um, it's called a breakthrough coaching call with Susan yesterday, Susan Rucker. This was my major breakthrough. I need to be the type of client that I want to attract and then be that client.
Hmm.
Okay. So I want to make sure that I'm attracting the right kind of clients and not the ones that are stressing me out so much. So then in our first exercise this morning in session one, it didn't start till 10 o'clock. So we're talking, this was all in the first the first 30 minutes when coach came on. Okay. My clients all my clients in the back, well, not all of them, most of my clients in the past that I've been trying to help. So they come to me wanting my help because something about their business is not working. Something about their structure. It's usually the structure. Something's not working. So they hire me to come in and break their business down, or either break the business down, figure out what's not working, and implement new and create and implement new processes and policies and procedures and processes, and then train them on how to work that process. I give it to them, I provide the training, and the ones that don't take the training are the ones that come back later and say, I need to mute somebody. I think it's Gabby's fan.
Oh, I turned it off.
I think we discovered that. Did you need me? In about 20 minutes. Do you need it on the computer? Okay, I'll be off soon. So the ones that don't attend the training or watch the training videos, then they want me to come back and train them. So that's extra work. And this is typically the CEO or the owner. So I remember I had one like 3 years ago, and her team were badasses. I mean, these people were really great. And they attended the trainings, they understood, they were working side by side with me. I mean, not in person, they were VAs in the Philippines, but they got it. Mm-hmm. And they asked questions and they got it. And then I went to hand it over to her, and she was like, well, I don't understand this, and I don't understand this. And I said, okay, well, there's a training video for you, but let me just show you real quick. So I would show her, and then the same thing would happen the next day and the next day. And she's like, when is this going to be live? I said, it's live now. But you have to, like, are you going to run this, or, what are you going to, so what are you going to do? And so she ended up just saying, you know what, this is not, we're gonna go back to using our old system. It was very expensive. It was like $4,000. I want to say it was $4,000. She didn't ask for a refund. She couldn't get a refund. I'd done all the work, but she wasn't willing to put in the work that it was going to take for her to learn. So because she didn't know how to work the system, even though it was the same, they were both Podio systems. It was just a different one. And she got upset and she left. Okay. So they either won't take action. Okay. So then they're being basically saying, this doesn't work for me. I'm not doing it. Then they'll offer me to work with them because I do such a good job and I understand it. They want me to work with them. But then I'm like, I have worked with some and worked with them for a little bit and didn't work out. I got to the point where it was costing me more time, energy, and resources than I was getting back. So there was not a good trade-off.
Not a good fit.
Yeah, not a good fit, not a good I wasn't getting, it was too much of a return on my energy. I was not getting the return on my investment, my energy, or my objective. So then, they can't afford me because you can't pay me enough to put up with the stress that you're going to bring to me. Okay.
And I think we need to find out, we need to define that a little bit more on how much you need to charge for that.
That's what I'm missing out on right now. And I think that's actually tomorrow. So I end up wasting my time. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. So then I feel guilty, like I didn't provide the service that I promised to provide, but I can't feel guilty because they didn't take action or they're not holding their team accountable. It is not my business. My business was to create those systems and processes so that your business could run more smoothly. But if you don't implement them and hold your team accountable for that, I'm not responsible for that. I've delivered what I promised. And if you don't take action, it's like reading a book. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. I'm really bad about watching TikToks or reels that show workouts. And then I send them to myself or my cousin. And then I'm basically laying there in the mornings watching exercise videos when I should be up working out. Okay, so I implemented that last week with my cousin. Go over to her house and work out, actually do the workout instead of just watching the workout video. Because I'm the one that's laying there watching the workout videos, one after another after another. Oh, that's a good exercise. Let me keep that one. So it's not so coach. I got to do the breakthrough with coach this morning, and he said he's already been there, done that, and he's written the book about it. And that's like, I'm like, exactly. His book has been phenomenal. Look how skinny this book is. I read this in one morning, and I got more from this than I have in quite a while. So he said it's I'm discovering the structure of the business is not working. The structure of my business is not working for me to fix the structure of other people's businesses, because I'm being held responsible for things that are out of my control. I'm not responsible for things that didn't happen because you didn't hold someone accountable for not doing their part. Right?
And that's correct. I mean, it's the same thing as if you own a computer but you never open it up and never work on it, it does not work. And
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, and asking just for other people to help and work and do and make things happen does not help if you're not accountable to yourself.
Exactly. Lydia,
It just doesn't work.
what about you? What do you
Yeah.
think about
that? I have found that when I'm coaching people or working with people, if I don't set up a really clear expectation of what I need from them, then it's going nowhere. And if I don't check in, because people are not super good at being independently accountable without support.
Mm-hmm.
People, and like Karen, you're not working out by yourself just based on your own willpower, right? You've got an accountability buddy.
Yes.
So, and I try to wall myself in with structures all around myself to make sure it's that I'm not just relying on me to do all the stuff I don't want to do. Because, at the end of the day, I'm going to play video games if I don't manage myself.
I got to say, I have a video
I'm pretty
game.
disciplined. So if I'm working with someone, I can't expect them to be any better at it than I am.
Right. Yeah. So I have a game that I play, and every time I'm playing it, I'm thinking to myself, this is why I play this game. It's like a strategy game. It's 2 dots. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, there's a square right there. I can make a square right there and blow up all those colors, but it's not going to get me to where I need to be, because I need that anchor to fall. And under that anchor is a blue dot. So I could do the square, but it's not going to help me win the game, win that level. So yesterday I was driving home, and y'all, you should be in the car with me sometimes, because I make all kinds of videos while I'm in the car, because I have important thoughts. And so I make a video so I remember, because I won't be able to find it later if I don't make a video. If I just text it to myself, I won't ever find that. So sometimes I just have to get those thoughts out. And I was thinking about this. If I was the richest man in the world and I bought an expensive car, and then I hired a driver to drive me and a mechanic to fix my car and an assistant. Okay. Those are my 3 key employees pertaining to this car. My employee is responsible for making the payments, making sure the payment, they're going to set the payments up on auto pay, because they're my assistant and they're going to do what I need them to do. My mechanic is going to put the gas in. No, my mechanic is going to change the oil, and my driver is going to put gas in the car.
Mhm.
If any one of those people don't do their job, what good is my fancy car?
None. Nothing.
Because you're going to lose the car if they don't make the payment. You're not going to get anywhere if it doesn't have gas. And if your mechanic tells you that you're paying to take care of the car, doesn't tell you he doesn't know how to take care of this type of car, now you're going to have to pay somebody else to go change the oil because your mechanic that you're paying can't do it.
Yeah, your car is not drivable.
No, exactly. And I thought about that because I had a guy recently who was trying to sell his business, and he thought it would sell in no time. Well, when they found out it was going to be sold, the manager quit. Okay, he wasn't involved in the business. He had a manager managing the business, and when she quit, the new one came in, and he was like, "Oh my God, my business is failing." And I'm like, "Yeah, what's your website?" And I think you ought to have some more information or something because I can't tell what it is you do. You have this venue.
Expensive.
I
Yes.
can't see what make me want to rent your venue. Make me choose your venue with your website. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, how did you know that?" I was like, "Because you gave me the website." And I went and looked at it. And I wouldn't want to go rent your venue because I can't even get any information without emailing y'all. And I emailed y'all and nobody responded.
Right.
And he was like, "Oh my God. Well, I'm finding a whole lot of stuff that's not being taken care of." And I'm like, "Well, that's what I do. So if I can help out, let me know." So occasionally I'll go check in with him and say, "How's it going?" And he's just at his wit's end because the business that he thought was doing so well is not. So he got out of the business. So instead of working in the business, he was working on the business. But then he gave up even working on the business because he thought it was being handled so well. But nobody will run your business like you do. Nobody will care about your business as much as you do. I'm
That's true.
interested.
It is. I mean, that's the truth. And I think we have seen that over the last how many months we have been working together. That if
You and
the
I have been
owner,
working together every day for almost a year now. Like almost a year now, Gabby and I have had a phone conversation every weekday morning, unless one of us weren't available.
yes,
And we have, this is something that we see with a lot of different businesses or a lot of people that we work with. So I've got to find the right clients that want the help, and I'm going to make them commit to it, and they got to put it in writing. Just like when you get married, like I told Gabi yesterday, when you get married, you sign a marriage license.
yes, make a commitment.
You made a commitment. If you can't commit to me to accepting the help that I give, then it's a waste of your time, your money, your energy, a waste of my time, my money, my energy. Because I spend money to do this. And then if I don't get paid,
Yeah. Well,
so,
that's true. And with Tim and I, we were talking this morning about some stuff, and we said, we are asking for some people if they want to work with us that they make a commitment to us.
yeah.
And it's just a piece of paper that you're going to have to sign. You're going to have to sign a piece of paper that you are committed to us, because there's a lot of business and a lot of work behind it. I don't like to waste my time and energy on something, and you're not making a commitment to us either.
Right.
And so that's going to change. And so, because, I mean, if you just walk away from us, then I'm still having the right to collect my income because I did the work.
Yeah.
And so we are talking to our attorney right now about that and making that happen, because you have to protect yourself from other people, because otherwise, it doesn't work.
If you don't do it, who's going to do it? Who's going to protect you? Who's going to protect you from yourself? I had a breakthrough reading A to B last week or week before last, and I'm like, I've got to stop giving away stuff for free.
Yes.
Like I see that it will help them do it faster, easier, better, and so I'll just include it. I'll add something to it, like give them a bonus, but they don't recognize that as a bonus. Just like if you give them a discount from the beginning, then they're asking for a discount. And you're like, I've already given you a discount. And I told one guy that he he asked me to fix something on a Friday night. I will never forget this. And he did something I told him not to ever do. Don't ever delete something. If you don't want to see it, just ignore it, hide it, move it, but don't delete it. And he deleted the trigger. And I spent an hour and a half on a Friday night. I didn't have any plans. It wasn't that big of a deal. And I charged him for it. And he had the nerve to ask me for a discount because I charged him after I fixed it. It was something that really needed to be fixed immediately. And the longer we waited, the worse it got. So I went ahead and fixed it, and then I billed him. And he asked me for a discount. That was the last conversation I ever had with that guy because I told him flat out, that is the discount.
Right. And I think the thing is, if people just come in and say they want a discount, I'm just going to tell them I'm not a discount store. I'm sorry.
You are absolutely right, Gabi. I have found the ones that ask for discounts are the ones that are the hardest to work with.
Yes, they are. It is. That's the truth. And like I said, I had a call this morning with my account executive, and I said, sometimes you just have to cut you Gabi, have to burn the bridge.
I'm going to write this down. I'm going to write that down. That I am not a discount store.
I'm not, everybody likes a discount, and I don't mind giving you a discount and cutting my cost down if it needs to be done. But being abusive on top of it, honestly.
Why shouldn't we get paid for our experience? That's what Coach Burt says. He says, when you have a unique ability, yours is mortgage and loan
financing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And mine is real estate. And I'm really, really good at breaking down a business and putting it back together to be done faster, easier, because I can do it faster, simpler than you.
Yeah. And if you need something with breaking down numbers and an idea, then that's my gift, and that's how we work well together. But the thing is, I cannot just discount my business, and I cannot expect other people to do a discount on top of other discounts just because somebody is not wanting it. Somebody wants just more and more and more, and that's just not okay.
And Gabi, correct me if I'm wrong. The bigger the problem, more than likely, the more you're going to have to pay to get it fixed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Lydia, what do you think about that? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for instance, if you have a problem and you ignore, let's do rehabs, because I know that's what Lydia does. Okay, we're going to do rehabs. So if you have a water leak behind your toilet and you don't fix it,
it's just, you've got to jump on it.
If you fix it immediately, bigger. Like the plumber that plumbed it, if the plumber would have just caught it the day they installed it, it would have been fixed immediately, but it didn't. And then you go over and you walk to the property and you pay the guy, and then you come to find out, oh, there's a water leak behind the toilet, but I'm not going to fix it. I didn't do it. So then you go on to something else. And then the tenant moves in and they're like, hey, the toilet's leaking. And then you don't fix it. And then a year later, now how much trouble? Now what all do you have to fix?
The entire bathroom and the room behind it.
Or more, or the whole thing.
Now you've got the house under the bathroom. But if you had fixed it in the beginning, the earlier you fix a problem, well, number one, you got to admit that there is a problem. Yeah. So isn't that the first step to recovery, addiction recovery or whatever, with anything really? If you don't admit there's a problem, then you can't even begin to fix it. So I can't fix for you what you don't see as a problem.
That is correct. You cannot do it. And the thing is, if you don't fix what is necessary, like I said, you really need to think twice if this is the right business for you too.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And sometimes it's as simple as having the wrong person in the wrong seat.
Yes.
So they may be a great person, but they're not a good fit for this position. What else could they do? We have to pull them away from this. They can still do everything else, but this one thing, this one critical part of the business, move them over here and find somebody else that's capable, willing, and able to do that. That's who you want to pay for that. Because now, if you continue with this person, the person up over there.
No, it's just like you have a really excellent driver. He's awesome driver, fantastic, but they cannot drive a stick shift, and you only have a stick shift car.
Oh yeah, that's great, Gabby. That's great. That's great.
I mean, I'm just thinking about it because if you
If
don't know
you,
how to drive a stick shift, you can't drive the car because you don't know how to use it. You
yeah,
need to get
I could go
training.
learn, but if that person is not willing to learn and capable of learning it, there are some things you can't. It's just an innate ability. I just have an innate ability for organization and automation, like
Right.
making things. Anything that we do more than once, I want to automate it if possible.
Mm-hmm.
I organize stuff. And I can't teach an unorganized person to be organized. They can pay me to organize it, but if they're not going to learn the process and commit to that,
You have chaos again.
they're going to pay me again to come back in a year to fix it again.
Yeah, but that's when you can basically, if somebody is not an organized person, then you can say, okay, we're going to get a cleaning crew in here once a month. We're going to do this and that. But they have to be willing to let those people in the house. They have to let the support system in the house. And I'm talking about me, it's just, it's one of those things, I admit I have really a problem with, I take care of most of it, but we notice with my working, on Monday I worked 12 hours. I came home and I was done. And I'm going like, yeah, I really would like to have somebody who would have cleaned the house and maybe made some dinner that night, and I did not have to sit down and just eat a sandwich and just go to bed, It's just something really to think about.
It is. But I can't make you take action. I can't make anybody else. I can influence them and recommend and
implement whatever you want to do. But Lydia, you wanted to say something.
Well, we've now moved kind of on in the conversation.
Oh no,
but,
go back to it.
Yeah,
Go back to it.
what I was going to say is, as a landlord, I have learned through, lots of bad experience, just deal with whatever it is right away.
Oh, let me share with you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Deal with it. You know what I learned last week? It was kind of interesting when I went to UWM. They had a good analysis, and I have another one actually that I like better. But that's beside. You know what the difference is between a buffalo and a cow?
What?
When there's a storm coming, the cow runs away, wears himself out until it falls over and dies. Okay, almost because the storm is coming and it's just being wiped out. You know what the buffalo does?
I bet he just looks down.
He goes into the storm and just gets out of it.
And so instead of running with and in the storm, he goes the opposite direction. He goes the same direction, runs through the storm, gets it out of the way, gets it taken care of, and then he's in clear weather.
Yeah, and my favorite thing is to say, if I have a storm coming, I'm an eagle. I fly into the storm, knock it out, and the storm takes me up, and then I soar above the storm, and I'm just gonna go like, sorry, poor people, you're down there in the storm. I don't care.
Coach Burt has quite a few sayings that tie in together. I don't have my book right here. It's a decision means to cut off.
Yeah,
and that's if you can't make a decision, then nothing happens unless you take action. So if you can't make a decision, you're not taking that action. You're just putting it up on the shelf. You're the cow running with the storm. And as long as that storm is there, you're going to just keep running. You're going to wear yourself out. But just make a decision.
Yeah. The thing is, if an eagle stays in his nest and like, I'm comfortable, covered, whatever, you know what happens to him when he's in the storm?
What?
It's going to be smattered into the rocks, and he dies.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we have to get out. I think it's so interesting, the nature, how God created nature with people and stuff, that we can learn from nature on what to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's when I heard that story about the eagle fly into the storm and get out. It's so much more important. I mean, I'm not saying I'm running away from it but I'm going to go into the storm. I'm going to face on the situation, the problem.
Dive in head first. Hand
Dive
it.
in first, and then when the storm takes you up and throws you out, then you're ready. Then everything that you need to do is done.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay?
Lydia, you were
That's it.
talking earlier about the clear directions.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like, so this is my catch 22.
Mhm.
I give the directions, which in my mind seems logical and clear, but I don't get back what I need. So then I give clearer directions, and then I get told I'm not stupid. So do you want me to tell you exactly what I need, and therefore you
Well,
can get me exactly what I asked for? Or do you want me to work twice as hard, irritate you? So what are your thoughts on that, Lydia?
yeah, I mean, I think that's I think as organized and logical as you are, you might have missed that it's not the clarity of the instructions that's causing them not to take action.
Yeah.
It's them just not taking action, which, that's, I mean, that's really tough.
I mean, I'll give you,
People procrastinate, we avoid, like nobody, very few people are really masterful at taking all the actions all the time. If I could I share something that
yeah,
happened
Yes.
absolutely.
with my tenants? I have about 10 rent properties right now, and I had literally 5 of them where I was not getting full rent every month, and this had been dragging out.
And they're get later and later, right?
Yeah, exactly. And one family in particular, I'll call them the young family, because they're young with 2 kids, and 2 kids. One of them's a special needs kid. The other one is maybe 5 years old, sweet as sugar, and they have been short or missed payments since they rented 5 months ago, which is way longer than any landlord should put up with that. And I finally sat myself down and said, okay, where am I full of it? Where am I full of hooey on this? Which is the best place to look. And what I saw was, wow, I am acting like I've taken all the
I gotta interrupt you.
Oh.
You took accountability for your business. You said,
Yeah.
what am I doing wrong?
This isn't working. Time
Yes,
out.
thank you.
Time out.
Thank you.
Stop the action.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw was I was acting like I've done everything that I could,
Yep.
but really I just didn't want to deal with the expense and the stress and the emotional toll of evicting them.
Evicting them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So as soon as I got clarity on that, that was easy. And I took them the notice to vacate. And within 3 days, they had that month's rent paid. Just like that. I mean, it was a scramble for them. It was hard work for them. But it's sort of like, okay, guys, you're either in or you're out.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is your
you gotta,
notice.
and they have
Yeah.
and I was on top of it every step of the way. And part of the deal was, and I don't have to follow up with you.
Yes.
I don't have to ask for this.
I'm not
You're paying me
debt
on
collector.
time going forward, and I don't have to ask, and you're going to make up what you still owe me. And what's really remarkable is when I did that, 3 of the other 4 people who were running behind got caught up.
Yep.
And the 4th one has a plan in place.
There you go.
Which,
but you had a phone conversation with them, no doubt.
No.
Oh, how did you do it?
That's kind of what happens when you sort of sort yourself out.
Yeah, it's the mind of the power of mind. It is important. And you have to set.
You cease to be a space of tolerating that same kind of.
So how did you handle it? Did you handle it by phone, text, or email?
So the once I took the eviction notice,
Mm-hmm.
they made me a final promise by Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't keep the promise. So Monday I showed up with the notice in person.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
And then the rest was text and back and forth. And it was,
So,
and then I did speak with one of the remaining people who owed me money, and that was just a quick text. It's like, hey, you're still $100 short for this month. Oh, sorry.
yeah. Oh, whoops. She means business. Gabi,
Yeah,
what
she
were you going to
does.
say?
Well, I think it's important that the mind power, like when we have been talking the last 10 days, more about winning since I've been to UWM. And then I think when you and I decided we are on the winning team and not on the losing team anymore, and not on the discount team anymore, because we are the winning team. And if you want to be part of our winning team, you're going to follow our guidelines, our rules. And if not, you're going to be left behind. You're going to be seriously left behind.
If you drop the baton, you're off my team. You're out of my. I can't win a relay race if you're dropping the baton.
Yes, and I mean, it is really important that people follow their guidelines. I mean, I mean, I was so mad yesterday. I can't even tell you. I mean, I was walking my hallways. I mean, if I would have carpet or something, you could see the footprints in the carpet. I'm serious. I was really mad. And Tim like, can you just calm down? I'm like, nope.
Nope.
I'm done. I am done.
I am done.
And he said, but this is just one time. And I said, no. That's more than 10 times, and I'm done with it. And I think that sometimes you have to amputate a situation, because otherwise it's going to suck you into the problem, and that's not okay.
I've got so much more to say. I really need to get back to my call, but I want to say two things, and the second thing will probably go longer. You can't, John Maxwell in his book, Leadership Gold, I read the whole story that said, you can't send a duck to Eagle School. No matter how hard that duck tries, it will never be an eagle. It can try, but it's never going to be an eagle. Okay. And the second thing was about back to Lydia's thing about the tenants. One of my main systems and processes is to train my contractors and my tenants on how I run my business. This is how it's going to be. You're my tenant, and this is how it's going to be. You're going to do it this way. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You can pay late. Your rent is due by the 3rd. On the 4th, you have a late fee. On the 8th, you're getting an eviction. I'm sorry. On the 5th, you're getting a 3-day notice. On the 8th, I'm filing evictions. Okay. I set them up to understand how I run my business. But every time you don't follow the process, you're gonna get that. And so whenever I send out my 3-day notices, like clockwork, and they'll say, "But I have a payment. I was going to pay you on the 7th. Remember?" I said, "Yes, I know." And you're also going to keep that promise, right? Because if you pay by the 7th, then I won't have to file this on the 8th. But is my system, is my process, my procedure, my policies and procedures say if I don't receive rent by the 5th, I am delivering this 3-day notice. But if you keep your arrangement, that's fine. But legally, I have to present this to you. Because if you don't, if you wait until the 8th and they didn't pay you on the 7th, and on the 8th you go do the 3-day notice, now you got to wait 3 days. And then if you never file it and it's the 30th of the month and they still haven't paid rent, you should have filed that 3-day notice back then. And the moment that they didn't pay their rent as promised, like, why would you have even let them pay on the 27th of the month? What are they going to do about the next month? And they call you with a plan. I'm going to pay part today and part later. That's not a plan. You already broke your promise to me on Friday. So, and Lydia, I'm curious. So you said that all of them are now caught up, or you're not going to have to evict anybody, or they're catching up?
Yeah. Everybody's either current or has a reliable plan in place.
Good deal. Well, I'm happy you did that. But that is one of my systems and policies and procedures that I have set in place. You
it's a
have to have,
consistency.
you have to have a process. You need to make your tenants aware of your process. Like, hey, we've been pretty lax with you on, I would say to all my tenants, hey, we've been a little too lax on letting you pay late. Nobody can afford late charges. Let's make sure that you're getting paid rent on time, because from now on, if you haven't paid rent, you're going to receive a 3-day notice on the 5th. And if you haven't paid your rent or made an acceptable payment arrangement, then you will have eviction filed on the 8th. Now, what happens is it's scary. It's scary to do that, because you're like, oh my God, I don't want to have 17 vacancies, because you have 17 people that habitually pay late. But guess what? If you it's like a parent saying, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Or what? What is my consequence for not following your rules, Mom? If you don't give a child the, let them know what is that word I'm looking for?
Guidance.
The boundary. If you don't set the boundary and stick to the boundary, you're going to continue seeing that bad behavior, because they will, if they're wanting attention, they're going to get it, whether it's good or bad. If they figure out that you get attention, they get attention from you when they're being bad, they're going to continue to be bad, because that's how they're getting your attention. So
that is true. I mean, the thing is, we are on a winning team and we are moving forward. And we take anybody on our winning team, as long as you're moving forward and you're winning.
And you're committed to working with us, and you sign that agreement. You're not signing. I'm not asking for your firstborn child. I'm asking for you to commit to helping me help you. That's it. It's like a prenup. People are always like, prenup, whatever. I'm sorry, but if you don't have anything and I'm asking you to sign a prenup, what am I going to get? Wait, that's backwards. If I don't have anything and you're asking me to sign a prenup, why wouldn't I? It's just saying that you're not going to get anything from me if things go south. But if I have money and you don't, and I'm asking you to sign a prenup, are you just in it for the money? Because if you're not willing to sign that, then you're not in it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to get the prenup, and then I'm going to say, okay, I'm marrying Lydia. Now, don't go tell your wife I said that, because then she'll get jealous. But if I'm marrying Lydia and I want her to sign a prenup, just saying that she doesn't have it, that she's committed to me and we're going to be a couple, and she's not going to take anything that I had before we got together. Now, she and I get together, we create this huge amount of portfolio, whatever. We're going to do it the right way, because we're going to have a written agreement, an LLC with both of us as the beneficiaries, and whatever, trust with the beneficiaries, and it's going to be done the right way. If you just do it the right way from the beginning, instead of saying, "Oh, honey, I would never screw you over." No, that's famous last words. Don't say that. Say, "Oh, I know, honey, but let's just get in writing."
This is for both of us.
Yes.
This is for both of our protection. It's like counting cash.
Yes.
Great. Let me count this real quick to make sure we're both.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to do anything with that I don't trust you or not in that moment. It is just to protect both of them, and that you also honor the other person's expertise, wishes, and stuff like that. I think it's important to do that.
I think it is too. So now I'm divorcing Lydia so she can be married again to her wife.
I know, right? No offense, but
I could have married Gabi, but I don't want to fight Tim.
Yeah, that's right. But, yeah, and I think that it's also, one of the things that's really valuable when you do set the expectations and they're crystal clear from the get-go, it allows people a choice in the matter.
Yes, they can. You can always say no.
If you're going to work with Karen, and she's going to be your coach, this is the workload you're going to have as her student. It isn't she's just going to,
I'm not going to sell you a program and send you on your way.
Yeah, exactly. This is
One-on-one coaching
what's
and
needed.
accountability.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Does
If
that
not,
realistically work for you?
yeah.
I think
And
that's
then, and then they have an ability to choose informed by what they're really dealing with.
Right.
And I've been, and one of the smartest things I ever did was I had some tenants who were moving in and their income was okay, but they were going from like literally paying $500 a month because they were staying with a family member to 1,800.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is a big jump. Is this really going to work for you guys? Like really, and they took a day to do a reality check and they did rent the place. And I was glad, but it was, if you, as the person the agreement's being made with, I want to make sure that there's reality to it.
Yeah.
right.
You
That's
know,
the same
we did that
thing.
with
Yeah,
roommates.
same thing with seller finance. I sold properties to 2 tenants, but before we even started the process, I'm like, look, your rent's going up. You're going to be accountable for insurance, for taxes, for all the repairs. Like it is all yours. So, I know the rent's been working for you so far, but is this added expense and responsibility, is that really going to be workable for you?
If the AC fails to work, you can't call me anymore.
Exactly. You're on your own, kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Gotta be
That's
working.
important. That's important. That's what I do too with my clients. If they walk in the door, I always go like, so how much are you comfortable spending on a monthly basis? Because you might can qualify for more, but do you really want to spend it?
Yeah.
And so we have those conversations, and I think it's really important that we set the right expectation for everybody. And it makes the huge difference that we have the right expectations. And I'm really glad Lydia does that, and you, Karen, because we are setting up the people for success and not for failure.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I remember when we bought a house back in 2001, I think. I had a phone conversation with my lender, and she said, "Hey, something, your $126,000 loan." And I said, "Oh, we're not paying $126,000." She said, "Yeah, I'm looking at your paperwork." Well, come to find out, they had sold us. So we bought a mobile home. I don't recommend that, but that's what we wanted. We wanted to put a mobile home on my land next door to my ex-father-in-law, and that was our plan. And I didn't want to, and he still owns it today, my ex. So I went to look at the numbers, and I'm like, "Can you send me the numbers?" So I'm looking at it, and the mobile home was $96,000 or whatever it was, and I'm like, "Oh, it plus the $30,000 for the land." So now we're at $129,96 or whatever. I go, "Hey, that mobile home I bought was $65,000 or whatever. It was much cheaper than the $96,000." He said, "Oh, that was if you took the one off the lot." And I said, "That's the one that I chose." And he was like, "Oh, we figured you would want a new one that hadn't been walked through." And I'm like, "I don't care. I'm not paying $96,000 for a mobile home that's not even going to last till whatever." It's anyway. So, but they did try to do the bait and switch on me. And if I hadn't been paying attention, that would have happened. And then but the processor or my loan officer person, the person I was dealing with, I don't remember what she was. She said something about me being qualified for $126,000. 126. I think we were at 129 and we were only qualified for 126,000. I think that's where this conversation came up. And I'm like, she's like, "Well, we only need to get it down 3,000. I said, "BS. We're getting it all the way down because I wasn't planning on taking out a $126,000 loan." "Oh, but you're pre-qualified for that." "I don't want that. I want a payment that I'm comfortable paying. You're not paying my payment. I don't care what I'm qualified for. I need to be down here." And we see that a lot with people that say, "Oh, well, you're qualified for a $380,000 loan." They go shopping for a house for $380,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can't afford it. And then you have to break their heart, right, Gabi?
A lot.
Yeah.
And it's like,
or people that do refis.
uh-huh.
where they're going to take some cash out, but they don't deal with the fact that that's going to impact their margin every month.
Eating into the cash flow, take a big old chunk out of that cash flow.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like,
the thing
ooh,
is-
I can get 30,000
Yeah.
cash out of this. Cool. Except
The thing is, when I have a cash out refinance, I usually have a discussion, not with everybody, but most of the people have a discussion on saying, hey, but this is going to be, I had a discussion this week with a young gentleman, and he wants to buy a house, but we're going to pay off his car note, maybe with the house or whatever. That was one of the discussion. And he's like, I like that in one way, but and I said, but then you're going to pay that car note off in 30 years. Is that what you want to do? I mean, yes, you're going to lower it. Yes, you're going to get away, but he looked at me like, not really. I said, okay, you think about it and you talk about it again. So it's just something that you have to discuss with people, really. Is that really what you want to do? Or do you have the bad habit that you're going to raise you take that cash and pay off the credit cards, and then in a month later or 2 months later, you're going to have your credit card balance back up there. So it's just, you have to have the discussion on really what you want to do with the money.
Yeah, I have this is my last story. Then we've got to get off here because I'm missing Gabi and I were determined we were going to keep this to 20 minutes.
Right.
Oops, fail. So my cousin, she is no longer employed at this company, and so she has this money, this 401k that she can pull out. She's starting a business, and she's owed some money to the tune of about $4,000 on a couple of different credit cards. And I've taught her the credit game very, very well. Her credit score is up over 800, but she doesn't like having those credit card payment. She doesn't like carrying that balance. So she was really freaking out about it. And she's like, I wonder if I should take out money from my 401k to pay those off. And I said, why would you do that? And she said, well, what do you mean? And I said, look, I wouldn't take that money out to pay off the credit cards. I wouldn't do that. It's $4,000, number one. It's not that big of a deal. But I know that your anxiety is getting to you because you owe credit card balances. Yes, this is my last story. And so then I said, what you can do, I said, do you have a credit card that has a $20,000 balance? And she said, oh, yeah, I've got like $120,000 in credit out there on credit cards. And I said, go find one that has a zero interest. If you don't have one with zero interest, then call them and say, I would like to do a balance transfer on all my credit cards onto this one. But make sure that your balance, like your credit limit on that card is at least 20,000. I think that's what it was. Because I wanted her to say another 20% so it doesn't negatively affect her. I said, you're going to pay these off, but that will put it in one payment with zero interest that you can kind of relax and don't hurt your 401k. I said, if you want to transfer the money into a self-directed IRA, that's fine, but don't go pull the money out to pay the credit cards. So anyway, just a different spin on things, and she's not going to do that either. She's just going to stress out about it.
Yeah, well, the thing is also you can hurt your credit if you do a balance transfer. I had that with my client happening. Dropped his credit score.
For doing a balance transfer? Mm-hmm. But I mean, she doesn't have any others. So
yeah, no, I'm just telling you.
I mean, her to have the 4 and paying the interest rather than doing the balance transfer on one and
that is okay. It's just she, whatever, basically hurt the credit because they put everything on one credit card and almost maxed it out.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm sure I told her to make sure she stays under that 20%.
Yeah. But you have to pay attention to those things. It can backfire on you if you don't do it the right way.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's it. I thank y'all so much for joining us. Let me see when our next one's going to be. It's going to be last Wednesday of September.
It's going to be after our Cancun trip.
You're going to hear all
about it. You're going to go with us?
Oh my gosh, Wednesday the 27th. That's just a couple days after we get back. Lydia, are you not going with us to Cancun?
I'm not. I've got 2 other trips planned this year, so that kind of sucked up our vacation.
Well, y'all try to put it on for next year. Try to put it on your calendar for next year. It'll be sometime in the fall next year.
Awesome.
Always in September, always after the 18th.
Excellent.
You don't
All
need
right.
to refund them.
Well, that's
Okay.
it. Have a good day,
Bye.
everybody. Thank y'all for joining. See you next month.
Bye.
Bye. Gabi, I'll see you in Cancun.
I hope I see you before then.
Quite possibly. We'll see. All right. Bye. End broadcast.